All right. We have shocking new claims that are coming at a convenient time for the person making them in order to sell books. Of course, they always wait until it's time to sell books. Donald Trump's brief press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, is now making the claim that Donald Trump deliberately had off the books meetings to circumvent records laws. In other words, normal president has meetings that are on the books with rare exceptions for very narrow and specific national security reasons. And there is a record of the fact that the meetings took place. There's records of what was discussed. If the things were classified, there is some version that does not violate classified restrictions on topics or documents that are brought up or whatever the case may be. That's how things normally are. Very rare exceptions for specific national security reasons. Rare, very rare. The allegation from Stephanie Grisham, which she made on CNN, we're going to play it for you in a moment, is that merely to avoid there being records of meetings that Donald Trump was having, he had the records, the meetings off the books. And of course, in the context of Trump trying to prevent January 6th investigators from getting records about who he met with, and others in Trump's circle supporting Trump doing that, there's a second layer we have to now contend with, if you believe Stephanie Grisham, which is even if the meetings for which there are records are accounted for to the investigators, Trump allegedly was having certain meetings off the books anyway. So there are no records for some of these meetings. Here is Stephanie Grisham explaining it to Jim Acosta on CNN.
To keep hundreds of pages of documents out of the hands of the January 6th committee. But you think that there are some off the book meetings, some in the residence of the White House that lawmakers may want to look into. I mean, Stephanie, you know that residence as well as most ex-officials of that administration. What goes on behind closed doors there?
Absolutely. Lots of meetings take place in the residence where, I'm hoping that they're looking at call logs, but I have a feeling even sometimes things weren't put into call logs. But a lot of meetings took place because the president at the time was so paranoid of leaks that a lot of our meetings took place in the residence. Number one, so he could keep track of who was in there. And if it leaked out, he would try to, figure that out. But number two, so that it was very much kept off the books and documents, anything that was written down could probably be thrown in the trash where people can't, come and retrieve them to put into the archives. So that happened quite a bit. And I'm sure the select committee is aware of that and is looking into that. Mark Meadows was one towards the end who was definitely helping to plan those meetings. So I think that Mark Meadows should be spoken to. I think he will stall.
So, I'm with you guys on, I'm so glad that she has held on to that information until right now, perfectly timed to sell copies of her book. I get it. Okay, I get it. But this fits with everything else we know about Donald Trump, a guy who claimed he would have the most, what was it, like open and transparent administration out of anybody or something like that. And just think, like, what we know about the presidency of Trump is bad enough. There are now things coming out that we are learning, and they're really bad. And then there's a whole other layer of things we probably will never know because of things like this. There are no records or whatever the case may be. Remember that there's also the incredible double standard or hypocrisy that one of the main reasons that Donald Trump said Hillary Clinton was unfit to be president of the United States was she violated the Presidential Records Act because of the private email server and on and on and on. And then, of course, we find out that many people around Trump were also using private email. But then we now find out all of the different ways in which Donald Trump either wants to prevent records from being given even to investigators legitimately demanding them, and even went out of his way to prevent records from being created in the first place. So it's all toxic. It's all insane. It's all wacky, but it's what's going on. And just imagine if this guy gets back into power in 2024, how much worse it's going to be.